Hey guys, here are my bachelorette questions that I'm answering in my finance notebook because I wrote them down. Okay, question number one. What was your first impression of Kolbe? I said, wow, that curly blonde ponytail is irregularly enormous. That was definitely the first thing, and then I noticed some of the other stuff. It felt like we already had a catalog of inside jokes and just laughed and got along together instantly. Um, when did you realize you were actually going to marry Colby? After she agreed to marry me when I proposed. No, I'm kidding. But she sang at Carly's wedding, and I texted a few of my now groomsmen that I was in love with her. So I thought that was a good answer for this one. I still have a screenshot of that text actually as well. What is my favorite thing about Colby? This is kind of hard to say in a quick little video, but I put that she always knows what the right thing to do is, and she just has like impeccable moral character, and I feel like I can go to her and get great advice on what the right thing to do is, and it oftentimes is not the easiest, but Colby's always gonna do it. That's kind of this is so sorry. The video got cut off for unknown reasons. What is Colby's most annoying habit? We're probably just losing shit all the time at the most inconvenient possible moments, like going an hour to try a new bar and she doesn't have her ID and we can't get in. That's pretty annoying. But also somewhat endearing. At this point, you just kind of expect it. So, what is my habit that Colby complains about the most? Probably sleeping in when Colby wants to go out and do stuff or get something done in the morning. She wakes up way earlier than I do, and I think that pisses her off, especially on weekends. If Colby could eat one meal for the rest of her life, what would it be? Realistically, this is a really boring answer. It's probably some like basic Mediterranean vibed salad. It tastes so bland it makes you want to cry. But if we're just talking like her favorite cuisines, I would say Japanese or Italian. Go-to drink on a night out for Colby, definitely a Paloma or something with grapefruit. And then if the bar is crowded and we're trying to keep things moving, she'd probably just get a tequila soda with an extra lime. So very original. What is Colby's guiltiest pleasure? That's a weird question. She's a pretty disciplined person who doesn't indulge very much in bad habits, so I feel like this is kind of hard to answer. But maybe like scrolling on her phone when we're supposed to be doing some other leisurely activity, like watching a TV show or a movie, that she just like decides that she doesn't really care what's going on and then scrolls on her phone. That's kind of a bad answer, but I can't really think of anything. What is something Colby spends way too much money on? Another kind of boring answer here. She's like pretty atypical in this category for a social woman in her 20s. She doesn't really like waste money on jewelry or clothes or makeup, like super expensive makeup products or anything like that. She does buy a lot of very cheap shit, like off of Temu kind of vibes. I think she gets that from your mom. And I feel like that winds up forcing her to spend more money replacing the poor quality things that she buys, like the lamps in her room that have like a remote that broke within like 2 days, or she got like super cheap quality sheets that she's just gonna have to replace because they're like plastic. We're back. If Colby had an entire day to herself, how would she spend it? She would definitely start it off with a morning workout to clear her mind, purchase a $9 coffee, do some sort of outdoor activity, whether that's a hike or a walk on the beach, or something of that nature. And then if she was all alone and she had to figure out something to do in LA, maybe see a Broadway show. She knows that musicals aren't my thing, so she would probably go if she had the day to herself and was alone, and then go to bed early. Time for some rapid fire. More likely to start an argument, definitely Colby. without a doubt. More likely to apologize first, definitely me, to try and remediate such argument. More stubborn, obviously Kolbe. We're doing dance lessons right now to practice for our first dance, and our instructor has to constantly remind her that I have to lead her. But she's a strong, independent woman, so who can hate her for that? Better driver. I couldn't read my own handwriting there. I mean, that is a laughable question. I am preemptively nervous for Kolbe driving around our children in the future. She, as you guys all know, splayed a scooter driver in Venice after being here for like 6 months, which led to a momentary mental breakdown. And then she totaled my brother's car. She leased a new one. The thing looks like it has been through gravel. I mean, it's just dented all over the place already. So I'm the better driver. Who takes longer to get ready? Kolbe takes longer than I do to get ready, but as far as being a girl in her 20s, I would say is in the top 10% of speed to get ready. So can't knock her for that. She does get ready very quickly, especially when it's when we need her to. More likely to cry during a movie. Kolbe cries during Ted Lasso episodes. So this is obviously Kolbe. The dumbest fight that we've ever gotten in. I probably take the cake on here. I didn't realize that she has borderline narcolepsy when it comes to watching movies, and I really wanted her to watch the movie Gladiator at Avonwood when I was visiting during COVID, and we tried to watch it like 3 times, and she kept falling asleep, and I unironically got incredibly pissed off at her, and it led to a fight, which is super dumb and embarrassing on my part. So I can wear that one. Mostly because the next question is most embarrassing thing Kolbe has ever done in front of me. Right when we started dating, COVID hit, and she came out to visit me in Idaho. We, again, were like 2 months into dating. We go on a hike outside of Coeur d'Alene, and she farted so loudly it nearly triggered a seismic event. And she just kind of like laughed it off. It was so funny. Something that Kolbe does that always makes me laugh. Farting in Idaho. Falls asleep in the most uncomfortable positions of all time, like whether it's like the fetal or just like croaked somewhere where it looks like she's just a dead body. Hold on, my boss is calling me. Next question is best date we've ever been on. I don't know if Kolbe would agree. I'm just going to answer this as my favorite date that we've been on. It was probably like 6 months to a year ago, maybe closer to a year. We hiked to the top of the Santa Monica Mountains with these little camp chairs and some takeout food, and just had some nice quality time together and ate dinner while watching the sunset on the mountains. So that was a great time. Favorite memory with Kolbe? A lot to choose from here. Might have to give it to Carly and Mark's wedding, just kicking off the whole introduction to the Keating family mayhem, or camping in Sequoia last May, I want to say. That was a blast. Just no phones, a lot of quality time together. What does Kolbe think is my best physical feature? I think I phrased that poorly. This is a weird question. Like my legs, maybe my ears. I have no clue. My favorite physical feature of Kolbe's, I mean, this is an obvious one. Her deep blue eyes. What am I most excited for in marriage? Definitely living together and getting out of the prison of paying 2 rents and having to organize how we're going to spend time together throughout the week. I'm a quality time love language type of guy, so just removing that barrier and being able to spend every day with Kolbe is going to be fantastic, and I am so looking forward to it. Finish the sentence. I knew Kolbe was the one when. I kind of have a boring answer for this. There really wasn't like a singular moment besides what I already touched on earlier when Kolbe was singing at Carly and Mark's wedding when I was like, wow, she is the one. It was like the 10 millionth time she made me laugh so hard I was crying that I knew she was the one. So a little bit of a sappy, a little bit of a bad answer for the last one, but that's what I got. Okay, have fun, guys. Don't get too fucked up.